The Kootenai County Sheriff's Office hosted a press conference today to address the spread of disinformation during the coronavirus outbreak.
And multiple viral messages are talking about a mandatory quarantine. They say the government will be ordering everyone inside for 2 weeks to fight the coronavirus, but the government says that's false.
Plenty of sunshine today. The rest of the week looks mild. I'll have your complete forecast next.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us tonight. I'm Whitney Ward.
Welcome, everyone. I'm Mark Hanrahan. New numbers released late today from the Washington Department of Health show that 904 people have now tested positive for the coronavirus. 3 of those positive cases are here in Spokane County. There is 1 new positive case in Grant County, identified as a man in his 40s. A total of 48 people have died. But on the other hand, the state health department reports that more than 11,000 people have tested negative in Washington state. In other words, about 7% of people tested in Washington have tested positive for coronavirus.
And Governor Jay Inslee took his most drastic step yet to curb the transmission of the virus. Today, he signed a statewide emergency order, and we know it's a lot to take in. There's a lot of talk, so we're just here to separate the facts from the fear. Here's what you need to know. Restaurants and bars are now temporarily shut down. Restaurants will still be allowed to have takeout and delivery service, but no in-person dining. That ban also applies to gyms, clubs, theaters, and other similar indoor social or recreational venues. The ban is in effect until at least March 31st.
But all of us have to recognize for the next several weeks, normal is not in our game plan. And I will be announcing both mandatory rules in this regard and a request for Washingtonians to understand that central premise.
So hair salons, nail salons, tattoo parlors, and youth sports also all banned. Crowds are also now limited to 50 people. That is what the CDC is recommending as well. And it's a big decrease from Governor Inslee's initial ban of 250 or more. Grocery stores, banks, retailers, and pharmacies, though, can remain open. Now, since the governor's announcement, many took to social media today to encourage the rest of us to support local businesses, and some gyms now offering at-home and virtual workouts. Restaurants also offering discounts for people who order takeout. And the U.S. Labor Department trying to make it easier for states to provide unemployment insurance to workers who are affected by this outbreak.
It announced new guidelines for the program last week. KREM 2's Amanda Broley explains what that means for Spokane employees.
New federal laws have changed who qualifies for unemployment benefits, specifically for those affected by the COVID-19 outbreak. Basically, if you have worked at least part-time over the last year, it is likely you qualify for Washington state unemployment benefits. One of the new federal requirements is you must meet the minimum of 680 hours worked in the last 18 months to have an unemployment claim. To be clear, federal law does not require an employee to quit in order to receive these benefits. Now, in response to these new laws, Washington's Employment Security Department adopted a series of emergency rules to relieve the impacts of COVID-19. It's provided a list of most common scenarios where benefits could apply. For example, a worker who is mildly ill due to coronavirus, they qualify for paid sick leave and unemployment under the emergency rule. But a worker only qualifies for paid sick leave from their employer or the state's family and medical leave program if they are caring for a sick family member. Now, under Washington emergency rules, workers can qualify for unemployment if an employer shuts down due to quarantine by a public official, due to business slowdown or lack of demand, or an employer reduces available hours. And to be clear, unemployment benefits and paid family and medical leave are 2 separate programs and have different eligibility requirements. The ESD is encouraging workers to apply to determine their eligibility, even if you are unsure. According to the ESD, the fastest way to apply for benefits is online. You can file by phone, but expect extended wait times. This is still a very fluid situation with new information and announcements regarding the state's response to COVID-19. You can find the latest updates on KREM.com. Amanda Rowley, KREM 2 News.
And earlier today, local leaders here in the Spokane area met to figure out how to respond to this emergency. They each addressed the public, trying to reassure you that we will get through this as a community.
Our Casey Decker joins us live in the newsroom tonight with more on what avenues they're exploring to keep people protected. Casey?
Well, coronavirus, of course, is not only a medical threat, but as you just heard, an economic one. And with some people in danger of losing reliable income, local leaders are exploring ways to make sure people can stay in their homes and with the lights on.
The power will stay on, the gas will continue to flow. And I also wanted to let you know that at this time, we have stopped all utility disconnects.
And that means that during this crisis, even if you fall behind on your utility bills with Avista, your lights or gas will not be cut off. Also being explored, a moratorium on evictions. Cities like Miami, San Francisco, and most recently Seattle have all issued orders saying that if you can't keep up with rent right now, you can't be kicked to the curb.
We're looking at if we have the ability to suspend evicting people from their homes. I really don't want to put people out onto the street and cause more of a homeless issue for our citizens at a time when our homeless population is the most impacted.
However, as you heard there, that's not a firm commitment right now. Leaders are currently just looking at their options. It might also be something that is eventually ordered at a state level. We also learned from that meeting that the county, as well as the cities of Spokane, Spokane Valley, and Liberty Lake, have all either issued or are going to issue emergency declarations. They say those will simply allow them to act more quickly, buy things faster, and change workers' schedules to assure that vital services are continuously provided. Whitney, Mark?
A lot of moving parts, Casey. Thank you. All Spokane public schools will be closed to students starting tomorrow. This comes as Governor Gov Inslees shut down schools across the state. Spokane public schools will be closed until at least April 24th. Despite the closures, the state superintendent says the school year will not be extended past June 19th. We know there are a lot of students out there that rely on free and reduced lunch, and this evening, Spokane Public Schools announced that starting this Thursday, March 19th, SPS will distribute grab-and-go meals every weekday. That's a few days earlier than they previously said they would do that. West Valley is also providing similar meals. Theirs starts tomorrow. For a list of all meal pickup locations, just text the word lunch to 509-448-2000.
Stock trading was halted today on Wall Street again, marking the third time in 3 weeks. Stocks, though, still plunged more than 10% after trading resumed. The Dow just plummeted over 2,900 points, about 12%. The broad-based S&P 500 and the tech-heavy NASDAQ both slumped more than 10%. Today was the third trading halt just since last Monday. Those measures were first adopted after the 1987 crash and until this week hadn't been tripped since 1997.
Kootenai County Sheriff is trying to dispel rumors regarding coronavirus and interstate travel. He says online rumors over the weekend caused undue panic for some people living in North Idaho.
Sheriff Wolfinger and other county leaders also provided an update today on Kootenai County's coronavirus response. Our Taylor Vida was there. He's joining us now live with what they had to say. Taylor?
Well, yeah, guys, here's the thing. Over the weekend, Kootenai County declared an emergency due to the virus, but today they explained that it was mostly procedural and it allowed them to open up the Emergency Operations Center, which is located in the basement of the building you see behind me. At last check, Kootenai County did not have any confirmed cases of coronavirus, but also today, County Sheriff Ben Wolfinger tried to put an end to the rumor mill.
We know there's been a lot of fake news out there. There have been people putting videos out there saying things that just aren't true.
Strong words during a time when so many people already have questions and fears regarding coronavirus. This afternoon, Kootenai County Sheriff Ben Wolfinger addressed claims that the Washington-Idaho border would be shut down. The rumor started online, the sheriff said, and couldn't be further from the truth.
They're not going to close I-90 at the state line. It's just not going to happen.
On the sheriff's office Facebook page, the agency referenced a video that was posted by John Grimm, a candidate running for Kootenai County Sheriff. In the video, Grimm made claims of a, quote, level 5 quarantine of Washington state. He also said he'd heard rumors of interstate travel ending. Grimm acknowledged the video to KREM 2. In a statement, he said he was referencing a Washington State Health Department chart and apologized for not being clear. Grimm also said he didn't mean to imply that Washington would be shut down.
Well, it causes an undue panic amongst the people.
Wolfinger says his office received extra calls from people wondering if the rumors were true. Other county leaders shared their messages. Although the county has declared an emergency, it's just a matter of procedure for now. It allows the county to use the Emergency Operations Center.
We are not in a panic mode. We are not panicked. We are not treating like this is like a panic situation.
It's fine to go to the grocery store. It's fine to go to work.
Kootenai County, meanwhile, is awaiting results on several coronavirus tests. Kootenai Health says between 50 to 60 people have been tested at the hospital each day. They stressed that the situation and applicable social distancing rules are all about the health of those most at risk, not the average citizen.
So this is really about the community coming together to protect our most vulnerable citizens.
As for the results of those coronavirus tests, Panhandle Health said they were expecting the results sometime tonight or tomorrow. Reporting live in Coeur d'Alene, Taylor Vito, KREM 2 News.
Taylor, thank you very much. And our team here at KREM 2 is really committed to making sure that you get the facts. We've been getting a ton of questions from you. We are working all the time to get those answers and to address your biggest concerns.
You can always get the latest on the current outbreak by texting the word facts to 509-448-2000. You may notice, though, Whitney and I standing a little farther apart this evening, trying to practice social distancing, making sure we're about 6 feet apart or maybe a little more at times.
It's not always easy. It sometimes feels kind of weird, but you know, it does make a difference. And if that's what it takes, then we're happy to do it.
Yeah, kind of the new norm for now, I suppose.
Exactly.
So my question is, why am I about 24 feet apart from you guys?
Tom, we practice it every day with you, my friend.
It has nothing to do with the current virus. See, look at me way over here.
Very far away.
Tell you, it's a lonely world I live on, ladies and gentlemen. I tell you what, the bright spot today, blue sky, sunshine, mild temperatures, and I know there's a bit of a hardship because you've got the kids at home and you love them to death, but at the same time, it's tough if they're going to be stuck inside the house. This week, they're not going to be stuck inside the house. We've got some decent weather to talk about, mild temperatures and then above average temperatures towards the end of the week. Look at that, the satellite radar picture not showing any rain, no cloud cover across the area, and very little wind right now. It will get cold once the sun sets, but that's after, that's at 7 o'clock tonight, so they're probably not going to be out at that time anyway, right? And then in the overnight hours, and you get your coldest temperature usually about an hour before the sun rises, so everybody's asleep during that time period. We look for an overnight low of 22. There we go. Tomorrow, Tuesday, you'll see a daytime high of 49 degrees. When we take a look at your weekend forecast, I've got temperatures in the 50s, 54 on Saturday, 56 on Sunday with just a slight chance of rain. So all in all, if the kids have got to be out of school and at home, I think we've got a decent work week for you. And I'll also run down the 10-day outlook coming up in just about, I'd say about 8 minutes.
All right, Tom, thanks very much. And we'll let you rejoin the group here in like a couple of months, maybe.
Okay.
Okay, just in, according to the AP, Joe Biden has been declared the winner of the Washington presidential primary. That gives him wins now in 5 out of the 6 states that voted last Tuesday. Big change from 2016, where Bernie Sanders won more than 2/3 of Washington's delegates.
And speaking of the coronavirus, and the federal government's response dominated last night's presidential debate between the two candidates for the Democratic nomination. Former Vice President Joe Biden and Senator Bernie Sanders stood a safe distance from each other, and they argued why they would be the best person to lead the country in a crisis. Biden and Sanders both said they would respond to the coronavirus outbreak better than President Trump.
He is undermining the doctors and the scientists who are trying to help the American people. It is unacceptable for him to be blabbering with unfactual information which is confusing the general public.
And on the topic of a vice presidential pick, Sanders said he would likely pick a woman, while Biden made a firm commitment.